Hey guys, we are back for a brand new video on the channel today. It is quite another special one because we are doing another collaboration with the one, the only Shannooty. Now we've had this build in the works for quite some time, so I think it's about time we finally release it. So if you haven't checked him out already, which I don't know why you wouldn't have, check him out. I'll put his links in the description below. Alright, what do you say? Let's get into it. For this build, we are using some concept art of a medieval, elegant kind of city that looks really cool, so we start on these houses here. We make a couple of those so we can get kind of like the style we want as well as all the textures and colors. We make 3 to start off with, but we do make some more later on in the video. Next up, we go on to a bit of planning. We know we want the city to be in a circular kind of pattern with the main city inside of some arched walls. And we're going to have a pretty big building in the center here, so that's what we start on. We do use the revolve command for a lot of these towers and buildings. It's a super helpful command and definitely sped this up. So we have a couple of pillars just sticking out from a circle that we will build up into a tower. There are also a couple of grass spots on there that we'll place some trees later on. Now we start to build up the main tower. We can work on one section of the tower and then we'll just revolve it around again. It took us a while to get the right height on this, but I think we definitely landed on the correct one. And you might also notice, if you can see clearly enough, we do use pumpkins for the roofs on these towers. It actually turned out looking really good because we didn't have the faces facing outward. And we go in and add a bit extra detail down below and then also add the trees in as well. Now here we do start on another one of the towers in this build. There are quite a few of them actually. I think there's something close to 7 or 8 of them in this build, but this is just one of them and it's pretty small. We do make sure to make all the roofs of these different as well, because later on we do make like a main tower that we'll use 4 times, but all the roofs are different just to add a little bit of variation. Adding that extra detail definitely helped it quite a bit. Now here we go on and work on the walls around the city. They do have arches in between and we make kind of 2 of these, one inner one and one outer one, and then we'll add some platforms in between. Definitely adding that variation in height definitely helped the build a lot. Now, I think let's make some more towers, I guess. We start by making 2 smaller towers that will get pasted in, and then we make 1 tower that we add some variation to the roof like I was saying earlier. You'll see what we do with those in just a second. So here we start to make these bridges that will come out from the main tower and then connect to these other towers on the edge. We do use sponge at first, don't worry, we'll change it to a bit more of texturing that looks really nice. Now here you can see we do add kind of another island, I guess, coming out from this one where a bridge actually connects and just adds a bit more variation to not having all the bridges stopping at one spot. Now we do go in and make some more houses to add to this build. We make 3 more here and a total of 6 that we can paste around the build. And after we get those houses done, we do add some more trees as well that we will be able to paste around. Oh, and you guessed it, more tower building. Nah, but these ones are kind of like smaller domes that will get pasted next to some of the other towers and in between kind of the wall areas. Now these are the same building, but we do change the roofs up yet again. Now we get to do one of the most satisfying parts, which is pasting in all the trees and houses into the main circle. Once we got these houses and trees in, the build was really starting to look like what we wanted it to look like, which is of course a super cool city, and I'm really happy with how it's looking right now. I mean, how good does the color of those roofs look? They really just pop out from the city and it looks super cool. Here you can see us bringing out a path next to one of the towers where we will have a bit of a farm on. We add 4 different farms in this, and then we'll add some houses next to it as well. Alright, now we go on to add some ruins next to one of the towers as well. These kind of act as old city remains and look really cool and give a bit more story to this city. Now we go in and add some houses on the shore of all this. But it is missing one thing, which are docks, which we'll make right now. These are pretty simple. We just made 2 that we can paste in and rotate around the island and fit the curve of the island as well. Again, we go around the whole island doing the same kind of deal. We also add a bit of a forest on the other side of the farm, which looks really nice and breaks up the build quite a bit. And to finish this build off, we make some boats that we can paste around the build, and it's a sailboat and it looks really nice in my opinion. And we'll paste that around the build, as well as add a couple more finishing touches like grass and some waves to it.